Testing, testing. Hello, everybody. How's it going out there? Bingo already? Unbelievable. That's what I like to hear, though, Mr. H. Getting bingo in the lobby. That's how we play bingo at CR. We're getting loaded in here just a minute. And hey, Chaz. Got a little change up on our casters tonight. Because that's how we do it. Bingo Bingo's coming straight at you. Here we go. Let's see. It should be at the top of the chat, but if the chat doesn't come with you on your entry. Yeah, we're fast. Yeah, and we're here, special guest casting, the one and only Nishama, Justin. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're all looking forward to these games as we get to mid and second half of the season. It's where it gets a little exciting, right? And I know you had mentioned that there's a little bit of a storyline with this game, so this one's going to be fun to watch as both teams are coming off their first losses last week. Is that right? Uh-oh. Yeah, and I think I could hear you, and it looked like things were going fine. I know you had some Streamlabs issues just the other day, and now I think I just had some Streamlabs issues. I think you were in, and then you were cut out. I've had a lot of weird things going on. So, but I think I just got a surprise. We might have a third surprise guest. Yeah. So if you didn't hear the second half of what Justin was saying, um, in short, hard fought matches with a little bit of heartbreak, and then and everyone's coming off on the second half of the season, just coming off of they went two undefeated and then undefeated, and then they get their first losses. So I mean, both of these teams are kind of out to maybe prove something that might have been a fluke, and so. So we're all excited to see this one coming in. So Justin, just test that mic real quick and make sure everybody can hear you. Oh yeah. Still no Justin? I don't know about. I think. Yeah, it's reading through. Got the audio output capture. Let's ask our special guest, Danielle. Can people hear you? Let's try this. All right, everybody, test. Danielle, give us a little test.
Testing, testing. Big matchup tonight between Coach Diff and Just Good Enough. All right, still no Justin. Can you hear Danielle?
Oh, Patty can hear Danielle this is boding well, Justin. How about you? You here with us?
Hey,
All right.
Patty.
I'm definitely here, but if I'm gonna think this is, I think there's
There
some
we go.
shenanigans.
There we
Oh,
go. All right.
oh,
There
okay.
we go.
There we go.
Oh,
All
there
right.
we go.
I don't know.
All
Now I can
right.
I don't know
use
what
my
Streamlabs has been doing, but
can
giving us
sweetly
all
serenade the
sorts of
audience now.
problems.
The
Okay.
dulcet tones.
Whew. Yes, Daniel is the trick.
Danielle, fix it. You
Yeah.
need to add her to the graphic now, though. We
Oh
can't.
yes, yes. So many moving parts. And bingo. Grab a bingo card. We should
everything's
add
working perfect.
Streamlabs and or tech failure to the.
That's it.
With the
bingo.
bingo card. That'd be great. That'd be great.
Oh man. So yeah. So if you missed again what Justin was saying, I think if you caught the exhibition match last week, which was super fun, very impromptu. I'm kind of glad we did it because it was really fun. But I mean, we saw some of these players playing against each other and on the same team. But yeah, I'm really excited to see that Decker guy and Hernandez teaches go at it. This is gonna be a pretty fun one.
Yeah,
If you have
that's gonna
not
be a
played,
huge
oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna give a shout out for the bingo cards. If you have not played the bingo, Patty has put the bingo card link in the chat. You click, it's so easy. You just click through, you like give a name that we can recognize you by, and then you watch for different things in game and play bingo, and you get a prize if you get bingo. So, you know, nothing to lose here. Just click the link, get a bingo. Play two, claim one, she says. All right, two cards, two card bingo even.
Oh yeah, it's a special. Every night's a little different. So, yeah. So tonight, where everybody gets two cards, you can only win on one, but you get double the chances, right? So, yeah. So we're just mixing it up per usual. It's Coach Rivals. We got to be flexible with the summer, but also with bingo. So. So check that card, and if you get it, just shout it into the chat and let us know. Yeah, and we're just loading up in the lobby, so we'll be getting started pretty soon. But excited to have our two guest casters here to give some same team analytics. So yeah, should be fun.
We promise to be impartial, even though we play on the same team. So in fact, we play in the same lane, but we promise to give you some quality impartial casting. So excited to be here.
Yeah, for sure. And this is going to be a huge matchup too. Both two really strong junglers for both teams. So, like as I mentioned, while no one could hear me, they have Casey tonight and Matthew Ledoux. They're going to crush it in the jungle. They both farm really well. They have very strong ganking paths. They're very cognizant of and conscious of the lane state of their teammates. So they're going to be looking to gank. I see a lot of scraps in the river. And then really just two stylistic differences between these two teams. Anytime Coach Diff plays, we mentioned that they usually play a weaker side bot lane, and JGE has a stronger bot lane, but I would give Coach Diff the edge in mid lane. A Smooth Criminal has been performing out of his mind this season, and then Avrayazov has been really kind of holding his own and playing champions like the Annie and the Anivia. Nothing too crazy. I would be interested and excited to see Avrayazov break out the Malzahar. I think that'd be really cool tonight.
Honestly, I'm kind of hoping that one slips through the Malzahar.
Yeah,
sure.
and I think, looking at this too, the nerfs to Stridebreaker came through, but that Decker guy brought out the Nocturne 1 week in one of their games, and then on the other side for Coach Diff, you have those highly contested picks between Viego and Set. So depending on, are these teams going to be able to get their priority picks? How's the ban phase going to play out? I think that's going to be really telling. So it would be really cool to see a ban on Nocturne, a ban on Set, as well as a ban on Viego, and let these teams show what else they have.
Yeah, and I think we're actually just got some heads up. We're going to be getting a last minute sub in for that jungle for JGE. So we're trying to get that in. So that might mix things up a little bit, but we should be getting started pretty soon. just getting that 5th player in here. But again, watching that exhibition match, going back to that to see how some of these players played outside of the season and with and against their own players. I'm curious if those that played in this match learned something a little different and are going to take that to this, because I know that there were some same team matchups, and then they were playing with some other team members across the league. So not a common kind of thing that would happen during the season, but it's kind of fun to have that exhibition to see if they'll carry some of that learning away with them into this matchup. So this would be an interesting one to see, as people are coming off of kind of like a friendly last week, to see if they can carry some of that knowledge into this one.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to that top lane matchup. I don't know if you'll have brought that up yet or not, but like that Decker guy had the game of his life against us last week on Fiora. He did amazing and has tried to be humble about it all week when I call him out on it. But he played awesome with Fiora. So I'm wondering if the Fiora will factor into the first set of bans for Coach Diff, if they will try and keep him off of the Fiora or not. So that'll be really interesting. As far as I know, I don't know that I've ever seen Robbie play Fiora. That doesn't mean he doesn't, but I'm not sure if I've seen Hernandez teaches play him. Her. So that'd be interesting if they tried to take it rather than ban it. But either way, I'm interested to see what that matchup will be.
Also, just a note, that was a hole breaker. We saw a hole breaker in that, like the first release, right? In that exhibition match. So curious to see if in the competitive scene now, are we going to see that kind of new meta, if you will, come back out? Because when we saw that happen was insane.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
He built it against us. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we still remember. Yeah.
Oh, that was that game. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting my all my matches all mixed up. No, because that was in that Decker guy came in and almost, yes, because at the bottom of the key, if you will, Nishama with that 1v1 play basically for the game.
It was less so a 1v1. It was more of like a 2v1. I had the tower helping me.
That's true. You did have tower help.
If I didn't have the tower help, he wins that 100%. But yeah, both of these players too.
Seeing the power of that item.
When we talk about this top lane matchup, both of these players are more familiar with bot lane play between Hernandez teaches and that Dagger guy. So I think it's really cool to see a lot of these coaches adapt to different roles. But sometimes you see that happening. You see the now I'm echoing. That's awesome. Well, I'm going to stop talking because I'm going to cause a problem.
Oh. Okay. Well, the other thing is, looks like we're getting Eric 29 is going to be the sub for today.
Oh snap!
Yeah. So it's going to be.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're just getting in.
This just got spicy. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're probably getting into the. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and swap over to the draft, because when they go, they go. But yeah, so that's going to be Eric 29 sitting in the jungle position for JGE. So that's going to be platinum jungles up in for both these teams. So as far as ranks go, I mean, we've got a really fun one coming out with some matches going on here. It'll be interesting to see where some of the doors crack open and see where these teams can take advantage of these matchups.
So as I was mentioning before, my echo came in. Hopefully, I'm not still echoing. But both of these players coming from bot lane, and then to see them perform so well in the top lane in a role that they don't typically play, I think is really massive, and just really is a testament to kind of their dedication to learning that new role and adapting. So yeah, I left the channel and hop back in. So no echo, no echo. So, yeah, it's subbing in for Casey the Knight. Of course, Eric plays very aggressive junglers. Every now and then he will break out a tank jungler. We've seen him break out the Sejuani. and when he plays with us. So there, he can play a more tank supportive, um, hard engage jungler. But I expect both of these junglers to be hyper aggressive.
Yeah, I fully expect that. Definitely looking forward to Rumble in the Jungle, and everybody else is just gonna have to move around it, and play around the junglers. They're gonna be a real threat on the map, and the supports are gonna have to be throwing down vision, and everybody's gonna have to be watching their back, um, because there will be a jungler in every bush, basically. So good luck, everyone.
Yeah, good luck indeed. I think they are getting ready into the pro draft. Let's see what we got going on here. All right. So yeah, so we're all waiting on bated breath as they maybe taking a minute to quick scout Eric 29 and see if they can.
Let's see, Nocturne, Zenzao.
Oh, here we go. Let's find out. First
Yeah,
a lot
bans coming
a
in.
lot of a lot of teams have banned Rek'Sai
Yeah, like
against Eric 29 too. So even though he's never played Rek'Sai in the Coach Rivals match, they don't want to give him that opportunity. So all right, lost the Zen and lost the Viego.
Yeah, there goes the
Yep.
Zinzao. We saw that crazy play a couple
Ban
weeks ago.
set.
Yeah, right.
Ban set.
Oh, if that set's coming in, I mean, that is what Robbie wants. We saw some really powerful play out of that. But yeah, I mean, it's hard. We've talked about in some of these games the champion pool that exists in a lot of these players. It's hard to really choose who you don't want them to play. So I turn that question around to y'all two as you've been playing in this season is how do you navigate that when you're looking at people who have, 3, 4, 5 champs in their deck that they can pull from?
You want to take that one, Danielle? You want me to?
I'll let you go first, and then I will fill in the blanks.
Yeah, so we really look. I never think ADC is really worth banning unless their ADC really enables what their comp is. So if they're playing an ADC with a lot of CC, like Varus or Ashe, you could potentially throw a ban that way. But most ADCs kind of do the same thing. But we're looking at champions like that Malzahar. That Malzahar is a good ban because it can completely lock down one champion. You can't. There's really no counterplay to that other than buying the QSS.
No,
Oh.
he's not doing it,
He's
Danielle.
trolling.
He's
Yeah, he's
trolling me.
trolling for
I
sure.
know, I know. It's always fun to troll you, though.
But see, the Nocturne, like even if the Nocturne is behind, that Nocturne has so much utility with his ult to be able to turn the lights off for the whole enemy team. So you're looking at what to ban. It's really like can we play around
Sorry.
it, and then we have the set come through. Yeah.
Uh,
Everyone's considering the Teemo.
they should be considering. I mean, it's.
So JGE is saying that they're not scared of the set, and we've seen with Coach Diff, Hernandez teaches and a Smooth Criminal have both played set on this team. They have flexed it between both mid and top. So JGE is looking at that and saying, okay, we're not scared of the set. We can play around the set. And what they could be looking at, one of set's big strengths is being able to just be a monster in those group team fights. Suplex a tank to the back line, face break them together, charge up the grit, and then blow up a whole team with the true damage haymaker. So they could be looking to do a split push here from JGE.
Oh, a split push in this new meta?
Oh yeah, you don't say. Right?
Imagine.
what a concept.
Another thing to consider as like I'm playing support this season in Coach Rivals, and so when I'm looking at the opposing support, one thing to consider is like what kind of value do they bring to the team and do they bring to the table? Because like Justin said, like ADC is not always worth banning, but what their support brings to the lane with them to help them out might be worth banning. So, so I know we have looked at like what does each team support offer, and I know other teams have looked at like support bans as well, just in terms of crowd control or tankiness, or damage. The IC band, just good enough brand, who is a damage dealer right now
Yeah, it can
in the
really punish
meta.
a team for sure, right?
Yeah, especially in group fighting, if they get close. and he ults them, he
Yeah.
could really decimate the team.
Yeah, so you're really just looking for how can you're looking less at the player and more at potentially breaking a team comp. Like you want to
Yeah,
make sure that they don't get some of these picks that because they're good in anybody's hands, you just don't want them in any of these hands.
right.
And at the same time, trying to make sure that you're creating a comp that can negate some of what their potential is. Oh, and then just throwing out the Timo ban just for cheese? Unbelievable. These
Can I
guys.
throw some? Can I throw some data at you?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
All right, so this is the first Silas pick of the league. Silas has
Mhm.
not been picked yet,
Wow.
and this happens to be the very first. No, it's not the first Varus ban, but it is the first time I think we're going to see Doctor Strangeglove on something other than Varus. So
Okay.
that is exciting. They normally pair Varus with Seraphine, which is a great combo. Layer the CC over. So we'll see how they kind of play this out.
So they saw that Seraphine come in. They saw some of those comfort picks coming in, set comfort, Seraphine comfort, and they said, "Well, we're definitely not going to give you the thing you've been playing. Uh, take you off that
Yeah,
Varus
yeah,
Seraphine combo."
exactly. So I'm expecting Coach Diff to maybe pick an Ash here instead. That's another kind of safe ADC for Doctor Strangeglove to play, and he can throw his ults out from a distance to try to set up the jungle ganks. So I think Ash would be a great pick here. Oh, okay.
Senna. So have
Wow. All
have we
right.
seen Caitlyn, Data Man? Have we seen a lot of Caitlyn playing this season?
Yeah, yeah. So Caitlyn, JG actually played Caitlyn last weekend. Caitlin's been picked 4 times across 13 games. So
Okay.
Caitlin's been there. But the Senna Seraphine, there's a lot of sustain. So this could be one of those things. Like Coach Diff likes to play those comps so they just run at you. Similar to how Tragedy plays. And okay, that is the first Elise too.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm pumped. This is awesome.
Wow.
And let's see if we get another. I mean, there's only so many champions, right? At some point, we can't.
So yeah,
We'll
so
get
this
some new
is
ones.
so
Sejuani.
this is
Okay.
Eric's pick. All right.
Yeah, they pinched him. He's yeah, they took out the Zen, the Diana, and the Rek'Sai, and then they JGE banned the Nocturne, so he's defaulting to the Sejuani.
So since that pick comes in, um, now that we've done some how to build a comp, right? What are you doing against this other team? You've scouted them, you've seen them play. Um, it's all over, right? Pan pick is almost the beginning and sometimes the end of the game in some matches. So now what do we see when we see these two teams matched up? Where's the threat and where's the potential crack? What do you think?
Coach Diff seems to have kind of a split identity. Elise is kind of a pick champion, so she's going to try to hit champions with her cocoon. But in like these big, large team fights, Elise doesn't particularly do a whole lot. Elise can have very effective diving. Especially early game. Silas has some really good ults that he can steal in this game. And so the set and Silas may be looking to group up, and the Seraphine and Senna will help the set and kind of boost him up and help him sustain. But the Elise for me doesn't really fit in this comp very well. I'm excited to see the Elise, but the Elise doesn't really fit. And then on the side of JGE, I think that we have some pretty good AoE with the Annie, the Urgot, the Lux, and the Sejuani. Caitlyn's more of a single target champion. He could possibly build Hurricane on it and maybe get some more of those passive procs to get some more of those headshots in. But I kind of like JGE's comp a little bit more. They have a very defined front line between the Urgot and the Sejuani, and they can split with the Urgot if they wanted to. So I would say JGE won the draft on this one.
Yeah, just going out to the Drake Prime, talking about how Silas has a lot of great ults to choose from.
Mhm.
So we'll see if that comes into play. When you're going up a Silas, I wonder how much thought goes into that of like, oof, what do we do not want them to have either? Um, so we'll
Yeah, and
see.
Silas is one of those champs that can really run away with the game too. So,
Yeah, if you
even
let him.
though, yeah, so we look at this and we say, okay, or I say, everybody else can disagree with me, but I don't think the Elise fits in the Coach Diff comp. So, yes, they can dive really well with the Elise, but once you get past those initial like laning phase where the jungler's going to be around ganking a lot, it doesn't fit well with the rest of it. But if they can get that Silas like rolling super hard and heavy early, he just becomes unstoppable, and then it doesn't really matter. They just steamroll and end the game early. So I think that's maybe Coach Diff's objective, is kind of in this game early. But then at the same time, they have a Senna who needs to scale and wants to stack the souls and everything. So it's interesting. Maybe I'm going to eat my words, and they're going to completely run away with the game. But I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I've been eyeing that mid lane matchup too. Silas just has more range than Annie does. And she has a stun, right? But she has to get 4 shots off before she can proc it. So, um, yeah, I think that'll be that mid lane may well be Coach Shift's win condition. Like if the jugglers hold their own against each other, and then the mid lane be the win condition for Coach Shift.
Well, we've seen in a lot of games, the top lane is where things kind of go early. And we've seen how the bot lane kind of goes back and forth, back and forth. So that's what I've always been as these matches have gone in the seasons, to see when is some of that going to change. A lot, I know, Justin, you've said this. A lot of teams are putting their best player in the ADC role, and so you end up with these really evenly matched up kind of ADC spots, and you kind of see, okay, where is the rest of this match going to flex? And so I'm always looking to see, is this going to be the game where that changes a little bit? But I don't know. I know we're all just really excited to see this top lane matchup because I think it's going to be exciting across the board. We haven't seen a lot of Annie. I don't think I've watched a lot of Annie comparatively in this season, but I know that late game Annie can just be such a problem. So
Yeah, and deleting, Annie, once Annie gets rolling and has enough AP, she can like full cycle through her combo and completely delete a priority target. Probably not the set, but she could get rid of the Senna or the Seraphine. So, when these big team fights break out, that's something that JGE is going to have to coordinate in comms. Who are our priority targets? Because, Silas has his W heal where it's completely ridiculous amount of heal. Senna's healing. Seraphine has the shields and the heal whenever she gets her empowered W. So we're going to have a lot of grievous wounds coming out of JGE to try to stifle that. But then they've also got to decide, okay, who's Annie going to be deleting? On top of, flash
Right.
ulting onto the entire team. But who are you going to focus? Who are you going to take out first?
Right.
yeah, and we are going to get started in just a minute here. Thanks everyone for being here. Of course, this is Coach Rivals Season 2 competitive Thursday play. And if you haven't got a bingo card, get one. Patty's got them. The chat's in the link, or the link is in the chat. But yeah, glad everyone's here. Catch us on Tuesdays as well for Rocket League. But we got a good one, and there's prizes. That's true. First 2 bingos, you get a fabulous Hex Tech chest, not a masterwork. But yeah, we'll get started in just a few minutes, and hold tight because the most important part of the game is coming up, and that's the skins.
Oh, Patty's requesting names on the pictures.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Did they take the pictures in order? Like, you know what I mean? Like if you took them
I put ours
top
in
lane.
order.
Yeah, right. Top lane to support. Like you should be able to line them up. Mhm. All right.
Skins are in.
End game. Let's do this.
Everybody's happy
So,
now.
welcome back to Coach Rivals. And the exciting part of the game is the skin reveal. And here you see the Coach Diff has busted out two, not one, but two prestige skins. That's strong. And a victorious Elise. So, that's going to be tough to beat.
That's it,
But
everybody. See you later.
I
Have a good
know,
night.
right? Yeah. We have a Butcher Urgot, Bear Cavalry, Sejuani, Super Galaxy Annie, Pulse Fighter, Caitlyn, and Elementalist Lux.
Chaz is really mad.
I'm sorry,
No
Chaz. I
PJ
know.
Party or the PJ Party is fun. Beach Party are good skins too. Little Devil Timo, always a classic. Um, but yeah, I mean, we got 10 skins on the board. I know I don't think I've seen a 10 skin game. I just remember during the high school season, this is literally the only part the kids cared about. I mean, like they were like, this was
What
what
skins do
made
they
the
have?
game. Skins win. That was the whole thing. Um, so yeah, so we're still loading in. Excited again as always to be here. Check those bingo cards. Please post your card number in the chat so Patty can check it. Um, but there you go. So we were talking about these matchups. We're talking about anti-deletion at the end of the towards mid-late game. Who are they going to be looking to drop that Tibbers on and that huge CC combo? Um, what do you think play style with these two team comps? Skirmish, team fight. What do you think we might see as this game moves forward?
More team fight out of JGE and more picks. I don't know, man. It's so tough because they have the early picks with the Elise, but over on the side of Coach Diff. But I will notice you see that Elise is running Dark Harvest instead of Electrocute. So that is going to help the Elise kind of scale into that late game and still do some pretty bursty damage late game. So I think they're probably using that to try to compensate for the lack of big team fight damage from her scaling out like the Seraphine and the Senna scale.
Welcome to
Alright.
Sailor's Rift.
Looks like Coach Diff might have something up their sleeve here.
Yeah, this is cheeky
Ooh.
here. I like
This
it.
is, ever since a couple games back, we've seen some kind of weird early kind of plan. I know y'all had a invade scare in your last game, where Danielle, you just had to barely get out. So
That's
a little
true.
bit of a
That's true.
jungle roam going on.
Oh, and look at that. Well, they were up there
Ooh,
trying to invade.
sneaky.
I know. Red side but got a ward down for them.
Minions have spawned.
There's vision all over this board already. Like it.
A really good ward from that Decker guy right outside of the ramp. As you could see a Smooth Criminal on the Silas kind of roaming up with the set. Maybe they could get some cheese on the Urgot, but that ward's going to spot them. So he's just really well placed ward that's going to serve both, protect him as well as the team.
Looks like the Seraphine's already gone to lane. This and that. Oh, coming back now. Wow, some early engage on the top lane.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a ton of damage.
Which they're both looking to land their E's. That's really what it boils down to. The set's trying to land his Facebreaker to initiate the trade on the Urgot. Urgot's trying to land his E to throw the set backwards. So they both landed at that time, but the Urgot came on top. The Urgot's also running Press the Attack, so he can stack that up faster than the Conqueror. The Conqueror's better in these longer extended trades. Press the Attack comes in as the vulnerability early. So the longer the trades go on, the better the set would last if he can, kind of absorb a lot of the pressure. But Urgot, I say, has the edge a little bit early just with the rune choice.
In bot lane, we see red side has gotten level 2 first, and they're very aggressively pushing against the Seraphine and the Senna. So they're looking to make a play. Lux just got a root. Oh, but Seraphine had to flash away. Oh, the Lux chased her. She got the ignite on her.
Yep.
There she is.
And you can see the Lux trying to give it over to the Caitlyn too, stalling
Yeah.
on the auto attacks. Unfortunately, it didn't work out.
Ooh.
Wow. All right. Nice job, red side. Looks like blue side is trying to make a play. Oh, here comes Eric. Here comes Eric 29.
Oh,
Yeah, we see Sejuani going in now too, chasing into the tri-bush, and Matthew Ledoux has got to get out of here, but this the longest gank engage ever. I mean, just not enough damage and too much sustain all around.
Yeah, and and she got away, at least got away. Oh, the Silas is engaging on the Annie, although she's going to be able to get away too. The Silas is kind of pinched here, although I don't know if they know the Elise is still right there. The Annie needs to rotate up to support the jungler. Looks like Urgot's coming down.
so one really cool thing in that play earlier when the counter gate came through from the Elise is she was holding the repel for when Sejuani queued in. So have another engage here. Surely Elise is going to go in here. She actually can repel over to the blast cone and get away. So a really cool mechanic
That
there.
was amazing.
No!
Annie with the overextend.
I know.
Silas coming in.
That's it,
Eric right over
that's
the wall.
Oh, it's rough. Every Azoth took a couple turret shots, and that was that. It does look like Lux is coming down towards bot lane with the Sejuani. It doesn't look like blue side has any wards placed, so they may well get caught out here pushing up against the Caitlyn.
Oh, I just have to call out Chaz. Chaz, that call out, well done. Playing off a Smooth Criminal's name, Annie not okay. That's the play of the game right there, is in the chat.
I mean, yeah, Jeremy really needs to all chat. Annie, are you okay? Jeremy, if you're
Counter
here.
from the Elise already.
Oh yeah, getting in there, stealing that CS. So just like that, I mean, we saw, you know, the tables turned back again. The gold is not that much different anymore, but early 2 kills in bot lane has now just been turned back over to 2-2. So we'll see if that plays into
Oh my
anything.
Goodness, look at that bot side river. It is lit up. They are ready to take this dragon.
And look too at the, if you look at top lane, Hernandez teachers end up getting a freeze on the lane because it didn't get reset before, you know, Urgot had to go back. So although Urgot had so much pressure early and he could still kill him, you know, Set had so much CS. You look at that, he had 35 CS to the Urgot 17, but he actually hadn't spent any money yet. So he was, I mean, he had so much gold, but he just has a bunch of money in his pocket. He has no, you know, items to assist him. So Urgot was able to get the buy, come back with the cloth armor, and went out on the trade.
Yeah, it's interesting how early game, just one little item can be a big difference. As we see now, I was about to say, Set's got that ult coming in and just doing serious
He just
damage.
hit level 6, but it's not going to be enough. Yeah. Wow.
Like I said, the items, I mean, had all that money, came back and used that CS gold and just, out-itemed the Urgot right there.
And now that Silas and the Elise are clearing the Sejuani's jungle,
Yeah,
and it
this is
doesn't
really...
look like they've rotated to help him yet either. So that's going to be hard. That Drake is up, and now they're rotating over, but I think it's too late.
Yeah, this is how you shut down a really strong jungler. You got to coordinate with your team and go in and just starve them of the camps, coordinate invading together, get lane priority in your bot lane and rotate up and invade that bot side jungle, as we see Coach Diff doing here. So Eric is not having a fun time on the Sejuani.
No, not at all. And you'll notice all that red vision is now blue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, setting up for a possible Drake, but it turns out that red ends up losing a good bit of jungle off of that. Drake is still alive. And the bot lane is kind of pushing for a little bit of prio for JGE. So maybe they'll be able to turn that around. But Sejuani is all the way top side, Elise's bot side. So let's see, we don't have any TPs up for top laners though. So it'll be interesting when this Drake's going to be taken.
Sejuani was expecting, Eric was expecting his whole bot side jungle to be gone because of the invade, and he likely was expecting them to transition that into a Drake, and I really think they could have with the Sejuani being dead and with the Sylas being available. They had 4 people at the Drake, and they opted to not go for it right there.
Yeah, not quite sure why. But...
Yeah, so Eric went topside.
And now he's going topside across the river, trying to get some of that CS back and maybe engage on Elise, steal this blue buff. So still up in CS, and now we're going to go totally engage as we've got Sylas coming in from the bot. We've got a little bit of a fight coming down here in the topside river. Sylas re-engages, Elise says see you later, and they just leave Sylas to themselves as Sejuani's actually going to go down from Hernandez Teaches.
Eventually.
No,
no, okay.
She's not.
All right.
I mean, could have been 5 health left. So nothing coming off of that except a blue buff steal, I believe, from Sejuani.
Yeah, you really expect to see more there, and JGE thought they had the edge on there with the rotations from the Annie and the Urgot, but you know, when Set comes in from the back of the fight, he can easily get, you know, on that front line again, or you know, after, you know, by suplexing the back line back into it. And he ended up grabbing Sejuani and unfortunately unable to close the gap, having already burnt his flash.
So Senna is coming back to lane, having just bought for the first time at 9.5 minutes. So she came back to lane with a Noon Quiver, but before she had only been fighting with Adoran's Blade against like a fully equipped Caitlyn. So I'm hoping that they might be able to get a little more pressure in bot lane, although the Caitlyn is out CSing right now the Senna by about 33 CS. So that's a significant like item difference at this point in the game.
Oh yeah. That range on Caitlyn is not helping Coach Diff at all here. And also, I mean, that bot lane combo, I mean, it's a pretty good combo down there. You got that. They just seem to be using it efficiently too. They have to, you know, Coach Diff really has to kind of step up to engage, and there's just a lot of range on the JGE side.
Yeah, they kind of balance each other out a little bit with Sejuani's going to come in for a gank here. Let this play
Here comes
out.
Elise too. The flash going out. Here comes the ult. Oh, we got the stun coming in. Here comes...
Oh, he turned around and got her. There's a TP from top lane, TP from top lane.
But Sejuani just cannot go down, and there's just too much sustain, even with the burn.
So yeah, as I was saying, like the Senna Seraphine lane can do well dealing with the poke from the Caitlyn, but as long as anytime a hard CC ability hits, like the Lux Root, you're instantly going to get trapped underneath it too, and you're just going to be stuck there for, you're just going to eat a ton of damage. So if they can dodge the Lux Qs, they'll be fine. Obviously, you know, Sejuani comes in with having CC on nearly every ability that she has, but yeah, that's kind of their game plan. Let's survive. Let's become an unstoppable shielding machine, and you know, now we need to look on the side of JGE. They have this influx of gold. How quickly do they build something like a Serpent's Fang, or you know, even you know, Grievous Wounds, get the Oblivion Orb in, get the Executioner's Calling.
Oh, or this over the wall smooth criminal on Annie, just alien ant farm all day. Just I mean, and they use that rift too in the mid lane to push that pressure, and so that could really change things up.
That actually wasn't Annie, that was Lux, and she was
doing
vision through the river, and she got caught out. Which great news for Jeremy, because she had 150 gold bounty on her.
So that's a nice pickup for sure.
Silas. Yeah, just exactly to the person they don't want getting it.
And I think we're gonna get a Silas style Tibbers coming up, possibly.
I'm intrigued by that. Let's see it.
So now we're seeing that Coach Diff has been able to shove this wave into JGE in the bot lane. So a little bit of a shift there. as Lux was caught out, and that left Caitlyn all by her lonesome. There comes the combo, but can Mathieu Ledoux get there in time? They're not going to be able to. As gank coming in, Sejuani up into the top lane. There we go, Director Cam. Oh, the stun coming out, completely shut down. Silas, or excuse me, Set trying to go back to get to the tower, but that ult from Urgot coming to chew him up.
Oh, the nom-noms came through for Urgot.
Yeah.
It's a good ult play to get, to get out and into the tower, but unfortunately, Urgot just said, "That's fine. I'll just take you back." And yeah, Patty, they did. They took Rift Herald. I didn't even realize it because there was so much happening elsewhere. But if I recall, Hernandez Teaches was able to get Rift off of some of that nonsense and use that mid lane.
Turret plating will soon fall.
Yeah, he's really good at getting rifts when you're not looking.
Great ult from Seraphine.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of disengage. Yeah, she was going to be dead. She didn't ult. That rooted him up enough.
Smooth criminal, Annie under the turret. Man, that's rough.
Guys, here we go. Ooh, Elise is gonna come in, come down. Ooh, a 1-to-1. That happened at the exact same time.
And then there's an engaged mid lane. Oh, but there's a TP, so I think Eric 29 is gonna disengage. Yep. Hernandez Teaches showed up, and he decided to back up a little bit.
So we definitely have mid lane turret, very dangerous territory for JGE, but that bot lane turret is in bad shape for Coach Diff. So a lot of action here. We might see laning phase end, and things are going to get pretty spicy as both these teams are starting to get items, get stronger, and just not afraid to fight.
So Dark Harvest check-in. Elise is sitting at 4 Dark Harvest stacks right now. So if that ever gets to like 20, that's going to be big danger.
English teacher, let me get you that link for bingo. Or Patty, can you get us that bingo link?
Ooh, Urgot ult goes just a little wide. Surely that would have been a dead set for sure. So really close ball for that Decker guy.
They tried to collapse on him up top side again. They almost got him too. It's like bot lane, red side bot lane is pushing in. Annie rotated up to help, but I don't think, and she went back to lane, but I don't think she realized that the Elise is still there. So we'll see if anything happens here. Oh, shoot. Their scanner picked them up hiding in the bush there.
Really, JGE's fine with Elise being up here because they want that Caitlyn Lux to be able to assert pressure on the spot side. They get the spot tower for free as long as it goes unanswered. So if Silas stays mid and Elise stays top side, then JGE's just going to do what they can to try to bully this lane. As we see right there, the Piltover Peacemaker coming through, sniping the Senna.
Yeah, with 20% health left, that little combo really doing the trick, and that's going to open up Drake onto the Rift.
It looks like there is going to be maybe a mid lane team fight here going on. Oh no, it looks like blue team is rotating back up towards the top lane, but there are four red side players mid lane right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Looks
they're
like
trying.
there might be a pinch here in the river.
Yeah, Senna's making their way. We've got a little bit of a fight here. Is this a sneaky fight trying to get Rift? But Smooth Criminal's got to back out as in comes the ult. In comes another ult. Sejuani is getting low, but we've seen the sustain. It doesn't matter. Elise takes out Sejuani. Hernandez teaches with the shield. And that's going to be Hernandez taking out Annie. Big fight moving in Coach Diff territory. Really taking the better one of this. And that's going to open up Rift. Or they're just going to go straight in and try and take Caitlyn out. Caitlyn's going out, so we might get an ace here as Urgot is only one left standing. Oh, excuse me, Lux is left standing as 12, but here comes the ult. Here comes the just body slam. Taking out Urgot, a little retribution.
Lux is trying to hold her ground here under this turret. That may be not the best choice.
With no mana.
I know, right? Oh.
Yeah.
No.
No, get away.
Oh. Oh man, we all saw that one coming.
So that's going to open Drake and Herald for Coach Diff.
Yeah, right there, they're moving on to take both. Although Eric is going to come up here and contest. He's just a little late.
I think in that too, we saw the real power of this comp that they have on Coach Diff. When they're grouped together like that in those tight corridors, the Senecute can heal the entire team. As well as the Seraphine shielding, it all comes through as long as they're grouped together very tightly.
Yeah, a lot of utility. Oh, the steal, and then using it right away on Sejuani. Just stop hitting yourself, Sejuani. Oh.
Smooth Criminal is not afraid to just go right under the turret with that Silas either.
Oh, at least can you get out? Mathieu Ledoux is on the run. Tibbers is chasing, but oh, a quick flip. Silas coming in. But a nice stoppage of time for Lux to get out of that. But that's a blue turret gone too, so all this action down in bot lane has opened up Urgot to take a shot at top tower. So it's swiveling a little bit in favor of Coach Diff, but the gold lead isn't really that big in their favor.
Yeah, they have 2 turrets versus Bib lost top and bot versus Red Side has lost mid. It's still very close.
Yeah, JGE does not want to give away this Ocean Soul over to Coach Diff. They're already going to have a tough time cutting through all the healing and sustain on top of an Ocean Soul that's going to be miserable.
I think Eric just smited Silas. Just out of
starting your dominance.
Yeah. I can't get to you, but just remember me.
Take this. Yeah. Oh no, oh no! The Annie was mid lane and the jungler caught her out.
Just want to call out Mathieu Ledoux's good reflexes to use the whole kit to escape, and I just want to call back to that blast cone earlier at the very beginning, just like up in the air, down on the blast cone, and out of a almost potentially terrible situation. So all parts of the kit can be used all over the map. It's always interesting to see how people use their abilities to get higher mobility and escape.
Yeah, and he's up to 8 Dark Harvest stacks now too, so he's well on his way to being that late game, big damage threat with at least getting those picks as a face check from that Decker guy.
Oh,
this came up in the last episode of Rift Happens.
Yeah, the face check.
Yeah, you've got to assume they're there, so Urgot can throw his W in there to try to check it, but that's about it.
And we're at the 20-minute mark, so that's a costly death. That's 30 seconds. And when you're talking a Rift Hail just cracked, that is a lot of time that there's not going to be much of a response in the top side of the map. A lot of vision right there. Both teams posturing. Sejuani picking up some health.
The Lux went up to top lane to get rid of the Rift Herald. Will she be able to? Yeah, she did. That's the one who plays Lux pretty frequently. Like, sometimes those spells do not seem to do much on the Rift Herald.
Like, I'm just here to slow it down. So we're seeing some posturing in the mid lane. Maybe just guarding Sejuani in the top side, setting up for a potential, maybe just get some vision on Baron.
Collapsed on the spot side. Yeah, he doesn't realize it, but he is. I think he's going to be able to get away, though. Uh-oh. Maybe not.
Having a flash out, at least coming from out of the sky, is going to take Urgot down.
What did we say about that dive pump? Yeah.
Yeah, so this is where the vision on JGE is really hurting them right now. Not having clear vision in their top side, their bot side jungle to be able to collapse on that Silas, because 4 members of Coach Diff showed bot there. So that should have been instant. We pull the trigger, let's go on the Silas and kill him and trade it 1-for-1. But they didn't have enough vision on to be able to do it. Eric's sitting on ult and flash, so he could Q flash and then ult and completely lock the Silas down, but they shouldn't have vision on him to be able to do it.
And they had such great vision early on in this game. It was just completely lit up. They did just take that mid tower as we got another fight. The Lux ult comes in, but it's not able to do anything as Smooth Criminal takes out Annie again. Elise is in this fight now. Tibbers is down. Mathieu Ledoux is on the hunt for Lux. Lux is able to get away. That's going to set up a little bit of a Drake here.
It's going to be hard
Maybe.
for them to kill Silas at this point. He's already 18-4.
And the CS is huge.
Yeah.
So,
Mortal Reminder was second item for fixing Mantella on the Caitlyn. So he does have the Grievous wounds there. So that's going to help them a little bit cut through, but it doesn't help with the shields coming through from Major Queso Destroyer. They would need Serpent's Fang for that, or you just delete the Seraphine first.
you know, is it honorary to be the one that you think they might want to get rid of first as a fight happens? As a fight comes in here, Sejuani getting chunked down but able to heal up. That might start the engage as the TP comes in from Silas. Silas is in the fight now, pulling in the ult from Eric29. A little posturing. It's kind of like stalled out all of a sudden, but that ult is back into Silas's hands, and we've seen that used very well in the past in this game. So
I actually like this here. I think JG. Well, Annie's going topside for some reason. I think they could answer here. Annie has Flash and Tibbers. I think it may have been worth trying to contest that, especially with the low health on Elise.
ooh. Corner checking by Lux, almost going really poorly. Annie might be just trying to shove that top wave a little bit.
Trying to farm out. Yeah, Annie's a little behind. So the call is get some CS. Let me farm up. Let me get stronger. So I respect that. You got to get the CS to get your item break point. So
Set is responding.
Yeah. She has her stun up, so I expect that. Oh, but he suplexed her first.
Oh!
Stun! Use your stun! There you go! Run away!
What are you trying to do?
The disrespect.
Don't go back in!
The disrespect.
Aww.
That was good effort though.
Mind games.
I mean, they did get the shutdown on the set, so that's going to give them a little bit of pressure on that top side. But then you have Silas pushing bot to answer with the tower. So even though they lose the set, Coach Diff gains the bot side tier 1.
Ooh, and it looks like we got a fight coming in here with very low Erud? Lux super low, having to run away.
Hey, there's the pick. That was the pick. Yeah, that's what they needed right there. They need to pick on the Seraphine. They were separated, so they could get an easy kill on the Seraphine, just unable to keep her locked down. So,
Silas
Elise
unanswered.
is up at 12 stacks now. 12 Dark Carpet stacks.
Yeah, and Silas is just down here chunking towers, getting responded by Annie and Lux to try and push them off. A wave being shoved for JGE into mid, so they're, if they could shove some of these waves, maybe they can relieve some of this pressure, slow this game down a little bit, and farm up, because, I mean, really it's just the mid lane differential for farm. But those 8 kills for Silas are just super expensive. I mean, that's a lot of gold. Same for Elise.
Yeah.
I'm saying, we called it too. If that Silas gets ahead early, along with the Elise, they can kind of run over the game. And that's what kind of Coach Diff was trying to prevent from happening. Unfortunately, it did happen, but they're not too far out of it. I mean, it's only, what, a 1.6k gold lead? So,
yeah.
You see...
but the face check, Sejuani getting caught out by Mathieu Ledoux. Going back in. Now having to retreat a little bit. Urgot, though, split push Urgot.
Yeah, you see Coach Diff winning the team fights, but the gold lead is not massive. So
no, it's really
not.
Well,
it's sitting in Caitlyn's pocket, and it's sitting in Sejuani's pocket, and it's sitting in Urgot's pocket. I mean, that's a lot. In the bot lane, there's a lot of gold sitting there. As we, that's a nice wave they just shoved down too, in the bot side. So, like you said, they're not out of it. Although Sejuani did just go over the bush there, trying to get this engage going as everyone's coming in. Oh, down goes Seraphine, so that opens things up. Hernandez takes out Annie. Tibbers is doing Tibbers things. Set with a huge shield. Lux coming in with the ult, but it can only barely get through the shield, and Set just will not go down. There goes Set. Set goes down. Elise is super low.
Good job. Yeah, he does such a good job of jumping into the back line, you know.
And commendable timing to go in right when Mathieu Ledoux was able to get come out of invulnerability to try and collapse on that, but not able to get Elise down. But at the same time, Eric did not go down either. So almost a bad trade there, but really good timing to crack into there. Big brain play. A lot of times you see someone crack a stopwatch or a GA and you just leave them alone. But on that case, Eric29 said, I'm just going to wait for your timer to go down.
Yeah.
And you go back, you can look, and you can see the traps. Fixing Mantella's trap was just a little short, unable to grab Elise when Elise came out of the stopwatch, or the Zanya's rather. So if that trap would have hit, that would have been a dead spider for sure.
It looks like the Ocean Drake will be spawning in 30 seconds, so it'll be interesting to see. It looks like everybody is aware and is maybe gathering in that general direction. So we'll probably see another exciting team fight we might
not even make it to the Drake. This team fight is happening in mid lane. ARAM is going down. Sejuani just gets taken out. Big ults coming in all over as Urgot throwing around. Elise takes out Caitlyn. Elise takes out Annie. Tibbers is trying, but boom, just like that. Coach Diff coming in huge with a huge ace. Gonna set up a split for Baron and Drake, possibly.
Yeah, they've got plenty of time. 15 seconds before the Lux even comes up, so they should be just fine.
18 Dark Harvest stacks, VP dubs.
I recall you said if it's 20, it's bad.
It's 20, that's super danger. So another thing, I want to throw this out there. Mathieu Ledoux on the Elise also has 10 stacks on his Darksteel. He also has a Sorcerer's Elixir that he purchased. So he's full build. Well, he's not full build, but his inventory is full. So he bought the blue Elixir to give him some more AP for that last fight. So he was rocking the Sorc Elixir that same time as well.
So just pumping out tons. Yeah, and you know, I'd be curious, you know, those potions, those higher level potions, they can have such utility.
It looks like Set is about to be collapsed upon. The whole rest of his team is on the other side of the map, and red team is slowly headed towards him. Oh, it looks like he's caught on and he's headed back.
Yeah, like you can buy those elixirs early. You know, they're commonly viewed as late game items, but if you know that a big team fight's about to break out and you can't really buy another big item power spike, but you have about 600 gold or so, then yeah, buy the elixir and go ahead and pop it right before the fight starts, and it could give you that edge.
Yeah, it looks like it's some money and you don't want to spend it, but it can be the difference between sustaining a fight, taking somebody out with just a little bit left. It's a pretty good gold utility. As we see the ARAM mid push. And
Urgot just got pinged. Oh no, Urgot.
Oh, the headshot blocked.
Respectable damage. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Wow. 1 for 1.
And he just, yeah. Oh man. Got the Silas, and then the Seraphine got him.
Yeah, but then Lux takes out Senna. Mathieu Ledoux is going to get taken out as well.
So here's the big problem with the comp from Coach Diff is there's not a lot of damage. From the Seraphine. Seraphine is more supporty. Senna's more supporty. So as long as they can peel back and sustain through those fights and not get picked, they're fine. But we saw there that that Decker guy is really strong on the Urgot right now. He's able to trade with the Smooth Crown when he has the Thorn Mail, so the healing is not going to come through very strong on the Kingslayer. And then they were able to pick off the Senna as well. So a little bit of uncoordination from Coach Diff, and this is where we see the comp coming through for just good enough.
Yeah, so a little bit of a change too. That was a good fight for JGE. That last fight, even though Urgot got picked, they ended up with a 1-for-3 trade there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if Coach Diff can kind of regain some of that
Yeah.
momentum.
And once they saw that the Silas was down, they just all end, right? Because then pretty much they win. Red side does, right? Once the Silas is out of the picture.
Yeah, we got a big fight coming in here around the red buff. Oh, the stun's just dropping on Lux. Lux is going to be taken down by Elise. Now that red buff is going to go fully into Coach Diff's side. Rehealing, dropping some vision.
20 Dark Harvest stacks.
There it is. Everybody look out. Here they come. Barely. Oh! Catching out Hernandez teaches, and going in is Urgot. Annie's there too. But that's going to cause a collapse potential here as this mid lane turret is going to go down to these minions. Huge wave collapsing in bot side too, and top side. So if they can stave this off, Senna's going to go down. Sejuani being collapsed on, but able to get out of there. Hernandez teaches, or no, I think that was Silas coming in. Oh, big fight coming in. The Lux ult.
Hernandez teaches is there too. Oh my gosh, everybody's dying.
Caitlyn with the headshot. Huge
That was a
shot coming in
big-
from Caitlyn.
Oh, the TP. Look at the TP.
That was a big commitment from
Urgot going to push that bottom wave.
from
That
Coach
is
Diff.
big time. Lux
Oh,
now
look,
on
and
the
they
offense.
stayed. Her ult is not up, so she's probably not going to be able to do much more than be annoying.
Yeah, so that
does
Decker
not have
guy.
Decker.
No, but that Decker guy is seeing a huge opening in the bot side with that massive wave being pushed, just popping that TP, and that's gonna really change things up for Coach Diff on this. What was a big offensive push is now 5 for 5 towers and another wave coming in too. So
I mean, they're basically tied in terms of turret, you know, and Coach Diff now has like about a 3,500
Watch the Elise
gold
pick.
lead.
Goodbye.
Oh,
at the cost of an ult too.
Yeah, they were using the Dragon Soul as bait. That was good. That was a good play.
oh yeah, that was.
Sejuani with the stun going in on Elise. Elise trying to escape. Senna's there to try and help out, but it looks like Matila Du may not get out of here in time. Oh, nice shield coming in, but Caitlyn's got to get out of there. Everyone's collapsing now on. So, see you later. The delete buttons are getting hit, and the smooth criminal goes down to Caitlyn. Urgot is able to sustain all this, but finally going down, and Elise is going to come down too, and that's going to be huge ace coming in now.
Dragon Soul's theirs. Well, you know, Lux is up, and so is her ult.
Yeah,
You
just
If
they're
I was
starting
Lux,
it.
I'd be pretty salty about that pick. So, oh, she's not though. Good for you, Erudite.
Oh.
Oh, and we got our second bingo for the night.
Bingo! Oh,
There's the another ace, back-to-back
Strawberry
ace.
again.
Yikes.
25 Dark Harvest. Yeah, as I say, once she hits that, I mean, she can delete them early, but as the game goes on and people start getting their item break points, the Elise doesn't do as much, especially if she's running Electrocute. But with the Dark Harvest, yeah, it's just that extra burst of damage as they get lower on health, and yeah, these squishies, the Lux, just gonna get deleted every time.
Yeah, the 36-minute mark, I mean, this is where the death timers can really cause problems if you get caught out. And it's where things can turn around. I mean, we've seen some fights definitely going in JGE's favor too. So if they can get something off, as Sejuani just comes swinging in on Senna, and Urgot finishes the job off, that's going to open up a huge minute-long death timer as we've got a 2v2 in the topside river going in, but it looks like Urgot's going down, but no,
Good
Caitlyn
fight
takes
for
out
JGE.
Silas. Urgot is just eating up everything, including the ult coming in from Lux to help out. Elise, though, taking
Grabs down.
Sejuani. Mathieu Ledoux
I think Mantilla
cracking,
is
but
doing
not able
some
to stay there.
serious damage right now too. If he was just standing in the back line, just chunking people out.
Yeah, if he's getting room to work, he could just rain down damage. I mean, it really comes down to if the Elise isn't burning her
Look at
whole
that.
kit, kill the Caitlyn.
Do you see that?
And the
4
and the
crits
Set
in a
doesn't
row.
die along the back. Yeah.
4 crits in a row for
And-
Caitlyn.
This is going to be interesting, right? Because I think they're going to lose an inhib to that.
Yeah, just like that, it turns. I mean, that's
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
And give it
Yeah,
up.
they're
They're
gonna
going to play
turn
for
around.
Baron here. Get a lot of vision on Baron. They need to clear that pink ward out of the pit.
I mean, we just saw Coach Diff knocking on the door of JGE, and one big team fight comes around, and all of a sudden, things have changed completely.
I know,
And-
but Coach Diff still has a 4,000 gold lead, and they have Dragon's Soul, so they definitely have the advantage still. They still need to, follow through and keep up the pressure.
And they can play these fights very differently now with the Ocean Soul. You know, they can try to get one pick, absorb some damage, and then try to disengage with some of the Seraphine utility and the Senna W. They can disengage and just heal back up with the Ocean Soul. They don't have to hard commit to a 5v5 and stay in it. They can just kite back and heal back up, and then it just forces JGE into a bad spot as another engage is happening. Wow,
So we go
he
big
flashes
fight
in
in
for
Baron.
fear.
Oh, but here we go. We see an
Nice
engage happening,
job.
and the deletes are coming in, but they're coming in for JGE, as all that's left is Seraphine, and that's going to be a complete change of pace.
You end the game
Oh,
here. You just end the
wow,
game.
yeah.
Sejuani is
Yeah.
just getting started on this run down the mid lane to just crack things as another TP comes in from Urgot, and just like that,
Wow.
okay, they just,
Blue team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
That's something, man. That was a great
Wow.
engage on their part at the Baron pit. I'd love to go back and watch that in slow motion and dissect that apart.
kind of speechless.
Oh, right?
And they just left it. They said, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay.
Sejuani is there, TP in from Urgot, and wow, so what a game. I mean, back and forth the entire time. And then at the end there, that fight, just a huge fight in the favor of JGE, just rolls things down the lane for taking it all for JGE, even though they were down at the end there. You know, they're only down, 0.2k gold. But yeah, what a shift at the end there.
Yeah, that's quite something there.
Yeah, and I'm going back and I'm watching it. We see both a Smooth Criminal and Hernandez Teaches are walking towards
Yeah.
Red Buff. And
Right.
then you see Mathieu Ledoux, you see the Seraphine cutting away, wrapping around the front of Baron Pit while Senna's in mid lane. So they had their comp that they're working with healing and shielding and just sustaining through everything. They were missing two of the really key components of that. Senna's in the mid lane, Seraphine is away from Hernandez Teaches and a Smooth Criminal. And when you go back and watch that, they bursted down Hernandez Teaches, and as they were doing that, a Smooth Criminal goes into the pit. Mathieu Ledoux is already in the pit, and when he gets the pull in on the ult on set, that Decker guy flashes into the pit in order to get the fear on both the Silas and the Elise to continue to allow the Caitlyn to rain damage over the Baron Pit wall. It was just massive. They were just completely
Yeah.
nullified Coach Diff from being able to use their comp in that because they were completely split up. And that's where that vision comes through that we were talking about earlier. If
Right.
they can have vision of where all their players are, they can pull the trigger and go and wipe somebody out. But up until this point, Coach Diff has had that advantage with the picks from the Elites. You know, she can blow up that one, priority target. But JGE just found that awesome engage there where Coach Diff was split up. And you're right, it hit that 39-minute mark, and death times are just way too much.
Yeah, and that's what happens in those late games. Like I was, kind of talking about earlier, 35-minute mark, you're talking 1 minute out of the game. So sometimes even just one pick becomes a 5v4 and it can really sway things. But if everyone goes down, I mean it's just like, especially when there were so many towers down and mid lane was open. I mean it's the go button.
Yeah, it's like what is it called in hockey when you play a player down?
On the like a penalty play?
Yeah, penalty
Yeah.
play,
Or a
right?
power
Like
play. It's a power play.
yeah, power play. That's exactly what it is, right? Is that your team has the advantage for a minute, and what are you gonna do with it? And sometimes like the state of the board is such that you can't do much except push out waves, throw vision, clear vision, but fortunately Just Good Enough was in a very good position to just the waves favored them, and they just rolled it in. I mean, that Decker guy, when we were talking last week, I think in Rift Happens, like in the chat, he was saying if there had been a wave crashing in, I would have TP'd with Fiora and taken the Nexus. He said, but there was no wave, so I couldn't. There was nothing to do. I would have died before I could have taken it out. And so, like you even just having the board in a position to be successful when those moments happen. Um,
I would,
JGE really did that tonight.
I would just like to point out that Decker guy did that twice this game. So he
Yeah.
mentioned it in Rift Happens that, I'm looking at these potential plays for my spells to get maximum utility out of my TP. It's not just for coming into a team fight, but it's also to shove a wave like he did in bot side, where he immediately moved from mid lane on their inhib turret to shoving that wave down in bot side. And then he did it again with Sejuani to come in and assist to hard shove for the win. And so just kind of watching that and seeing how you can use these abilities to move around the map and get some mobility. Um, it's really fascinating to watch as someone who's not at this caliber to be like, oh wow, of course you can do that. That makes so much sense. So
Great. That's why they made that.
Yeah. Oh, it totally makes sense. So great use of everything from both of these teams in this matchup. Super fun to watch. I know that I was sitting going, ooh, I think this is, oh wait, nope, it's the other team now who's ahead. The gold lead didn't really matter. The kills back and forth didn't matter. So yeah, I mean, just good team play and taking advantage of the situation from both sides. But at the end of it all, just good enough. Just good enough plus Eric 29 were able to take this one.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm glad Eric didn't show too much though. We've seen this Sejuani. He didn't like pull up some other pocket pick that's going to end up getting a ban for us.
Don't worry, Justin. I messaged him before the match. I was like, don't tell them your secrets, okay?
Should have told the troll pick something. But like looking at the damage charts too at the end of the game, this is something really interesting to look at. Caitlyn did top the damage, 38,000 damage, most damage in the game. Elise right behind her, 35,128, followed up with Urgot at 32,000. So we had 3 champions topping the 30,000 damage mark. But then when you compare both teams, that's where you have Urgot sitting at 32,000, Sejuani's 20,000, Caitlyn's 38,000, Annie or Lux is doing 18,000, Annie's doing 14,000. So everybody's in 5 digits. And then you look over on the side of Coach Diff, and Senna's barely breaking 10,000, which is fine because Senna's more supporty. She's going to add a lot of heal and utility, and then Seraphine's at 8,000. So you do have that big damage difference between these two teams, and I think that's really what it really boiled down to is JGE is able to use these champions with so much damage, and they can pile on. And when they have all that damage available, that's not getting nullified by the Seraphine and the Senna, then you have, kind of what we had here.
Yeah, so
just good enough.
Huge.
Just good. Just
yeah.
good
Would
enough.
you say they were just good enough?
So and on that note, I would like to commend everybody's team names because they are super great this season. But that's gonna do it for this week's casted game. Thanks everyone for being here, and big thanks to Nishama and Piper Maru for showing up. always fun to have you guys in the casting booth. Yeah, so I'm glad you're able to be here. I know we've got some games coming up in the next week, and we will be back on Tuesday, and we'll be back as well with the Rift Happens, live Rift Happens. We'll take all the technical difficulties that may or may not come with it, but yeah, be on the lookout for that. And if you did miss this game, it'll be hitting YouTube the next day or two. So thanks for being here, and see you next time.
See you next time.